stronger than the others, and it gives him a decent amount of mobility, a great amount of mobility, in fact, to just kind of be able to drop things. And Flash with the science vessel is probably there for EMP, and those vultures are going to get picked off. But those tanks are helping. But really, he's got the Dragoons backed into a corner. They aren't going to be doing much. Flash, meanwhile, taking out a Nexus. So I think that Jangbi is definitely taking the initiative on the drops here, and those tanks are going to get scared, pushed away by those cloaks. But those mines coming in, doing a little bit of damage against the cloaked units. Honestly, I think that Jangbi is definitely taking the initiative in the drops. He's definitely being much more aggressive, but on the other side, Flash is countering beautifully and doing definitely a great amount of damage in response. So I mean, again, a little even. Maybe the balance is swinged a little bit in Jangbi. EMP on that Arbiter, so that's big. Either that Arbiter is going to get picked off quick, but he only has one Goliath, so I doubt that Arbiter is going to get picked off, but at least it doesn't have energy, so it can't recall as early. It can't recall as readily, because its energy just got depleted completely by that EMP, and definitely Flash doing the right thing with those science vessels. He's using those science vessels when he saw the Arbiters. He's bringing in the science vessels to EMP those Arbiters so they can't recall, so he loses that mobility. And here, another recall. Oh, Jangbi is just going crazy, and that mobility is forcing Flash to move his troops around the map. And that Arbiter is going to live. That command center is probably going to get taken out, and I believe that's at his natural. So Jangbi very close to Flash's main. Flash, his forces are being pulled back and forth because those Arbiters afford the Protoss army such mobility, and Jangbi, that command center will get away. But here we have an example of Flash not being able to. Doesn't look like Flash has responded nearly as well. But I mean, he took out what looks like a photon cannon there, but really, and a Zealot dropping, and he's going to be chasing this little. Here's a confrontation, but oh, the two Arbiters coming in. If Stasis lands, yep, Stasis on 3 tanks. Could have been a better Stasis, but definitely those with the science vessel there, the big cloak from the Arbiters is null, and Jangbi is forced to pull out of that fight. But Flash being a little aggressive, following with a few tanks, trying to pick off those last 4 Dragoons, but it looks like a comsat went off, but the Stasis on the 3 tanks, those are going to sit there, bringing in Vultures to try and clean up the mess. It looks like those 2 remaining Dragoons are going to get picked off, and those 2 Arbiters are just going to kind of sit there and be flying and not be hit. Meanwhile, tanks taking out what looks like another Expo. Lots of tanks positioned there, and he's forced to hold those tanks there because of the 3 Stasis. So he's forced to wait there while those 3 tanks unstasis, otherwise he's going to be in big trouble. Meanwhile, Jangbi coming down into Flash's main, it looks like, but Flash just powering through, straight through. He's going to be taking out, I mean, here we see again Flash countering beautifully to whatever Jangbi throws at him, and Flash definitely has an Expo still, so he's still pretty good. Those tanks are still stasis, those other 3 tanks are stasis, but the first set is unstasis, and you can see he's unsieging. He's going to be moving out, pushing in against Jangbi, and I don't think Jangbi is going to be able to do anything. Flash just has so many tanks on the ground, and really when it comes down to it, tanks are more than a match for Dragoons. Especially if they can get into siege. And here we see another 2 Arbiters. So Jangbi really going heavily with Arbiters, and the recall afforded so much movement. I mean, it gave him so much mobility, but Flash able to counter that mobility by striking when his forces were pulled out of that base, because the recall leaves you vulnerable by taking a huge chunk of your forces, and it allows you to be super aggressive. Nice stasis on those, looks like 5 tanks. So good stasis by Jangbi, but there's just too much there. And Jangbi's struggling to keep up. I mean, Jangbi really has been able to supply the units to fuel those recalls, but now that Nexus expansion gets taken out, that's going to be gone. But Flash has so many tanks, and that mobility afforded by the Arbiters, again, it leaves your base kind of vulnerable when you pull all those units out. And Flash has done a wonderful job of attacking. Oh, and Psystorm goes off on the tanks. This could turn it around. No. Well, lots of Psystorm, taking out a good number of tanks, but it looks like Flash still has more than enough. Damaging a few, so those are going to get taken out. But Flash has reinforcements coming in. I don't think, and now it's pretty much down to Flash is going to be able to siege up there and pretty much pick off anything that comes through. He does have those Arbiters, so they will be doing a little bit of damage to those tanks that can't be avoided, but I think the damage will be done by the time those tanks are destroyed. yeah, Flash is going to be able to do a very hefty blow. If he gets pushed out, he's going to still have taken out a couple gateways. You know, and really they've been going tit for tat on economy. I mean, Jangbi's come in and recalled and leveled a base, and then EMP on all those science vessels, or on all of those arbiters. So that's going to be, and another one on the third. It looks like he missed that fourth one. Comes in, and there's the GG. And he knows that he lost too many arbiters, he didn't have the mobility, and really you saw that those players were going tit for tat with expansions. You know, definitely Flash coming in behind Jangbi's back. As soon as Jangbi's forces left his base, he just swooped in and took out little kid there. I don't know. That's kind of cool. World's youngest StarCraft player. He swooped in and he took out took out expansions as and Flash playing friends with the crowd, taking a sign. I wish I could read Korean. You know, but you know, yeah, Flash looking. I'm sorry, this is going on after the but Flash looking like, you know, he really definitely had his hands full. Those recalls, they afforded him so much mobility. They afforded Jangbi such mobility, but Flash was able to just swoop in, take out the expansions, and really go eye for an eye with Jangbi, and in the end, Flash, being able, with those superior numbers, he was able to ward off those attacks and have some extra units. So really, Flash just staying ahead. He walled in at the early, you know, both players settled back for a long game. I think Jangbi would have been better off maybe going for a Reaver, maybe some different drops, something a little more economical than recall, because really Flash was set up so when a lot of those recalls went, as soon as he set up, you know, a lot of the damage to his attacking forces was just leveled, and I think that was too much, and he teched too quickly. He went to Arbiters, and Arbiters are great, and he went for the mobility, but Flash was just able to again, you know, go eye for an eye with those expansions, and if you're Protoss, you can't go eye for an eye with Terran, just because your units cost more. Anyway, thanks guys for listening. Great game. I definitely feel like lived up to expectation. Flash definitely looking at the end there, like he felt like that was a hard-earned fight, and Jangbi definitely no slouch when it comes to versus Terran. So yeah, thanks guys. Hoping to look for another commentary. Hopefully throw up another one sometime soon. And if you guys haven't checked it out, I strongly suggest Clazart, Clazart SC, Diggity SC, and Moltrap, and their dual commentary Voltac, which you can find just they're all, you know, subscribed to each other. John747 is where I got this VOD. Two sites you should check out are sc2gg.com and Team Liquid, of course. Anyway, thanks guys for listening. Bye.